I think that the global aspect of ACL and creating these opportunities to really hear each other, it breaks down this whole sense of separation, but also the idea that we need to be the same to be connected.
You are about to listen to part of a series where every month a member from our community shares with us a little about themselves, how they came to find out about the ACL Global Project, as well as what drives them to do the work that they do, and perhaps even a bit about their hopes and dreams. This is the ACL Member Spotlight series, and in today's episode we are featuring Cristina Mullen.
Hi, I'm Cristina Mullen, and I live in Seattle, and I'm 61. I've lived here since 95, so I feel like it's my home now. I'm a psychotherapist, so I trained in DBT, actually, Dialectical Behavior Therapy at the University of Washington, and I was first introduced or first heard about FAP through Marsha Linehan, and she said, if you train in FAP, whoever trains in FAP becomes a better therapist. And I was just highly motivated to be a better therapist, so that was always interesting to me. I spend my day listening to people and supporting them to get more in touch with their hearts and what they want for their lives, and understanding what the obstacles are, and really supporting them to find the strength and the courage within to befriend those obstacles, to create a kind of peaceful relationship to whatever those are, so that they no longer block people from being the biggest and most authentic selves that they want to be in their lives. And then I'm also a meditation teacher, and I'm a Buddhist practitioner, so I spend a lot of time thinking and practicing and inviting people in that area. I see Buddhism as a science of mind, and also a source of a way to become more free and happy. And I'm really grateful. I really believe I'm in the right path for myself. I belong doing what I'm doing. I was looking for a therapist, and my friend was seeing Mavis and suggested her. And so I knew she was a developer of FAP. I was more just really wanting somebody really good. I didn't know what Mavis was doing. I was a DBT therapist, was a much more structured, evidence-based, as is FAP, but it had much more structure. You would really know what you were receiving as a DBT client. But Mavis is less, I don't know, it feels so relational. I didn't really pick up on like strategies she was doing that much in the session. I just felt really connected and cared about and held through these processes I was going through. I didn't really understand like CRV1s and CRV2s and all the different language of therapy while I was in session with her. And when I did an FAP intensive inside out sort of training for 12 weeks at Mary Luden, because I was in a group of colleagues, there was something about it that was so vulnerable and intense, and I felt in so many ways like these were things that I wouldn't want to reveal to my colleagues, and that I wouldn't be accepted if I did reveal them. And I was worried about being seen as like unprofessional somehow, and like I couldn't do my job if people knew this about me. But when I went through this experience, I felt so accepted and heard and understood, and this process of being more vulnerable, mutually vulnerable, reciprocally vulnerable, and authentic in these spaces changed something inside of me. And it also changed my work. It got even more deep and heart-centered, and my connections felt much more authentic. And I could see that in my clients. I think more importantly in my life, like it just resonated. It made sense, right? That awareness, courage, and love are the basis of relationship connection. I'm more able now to be vulnerable while staying connected to myself and what my boundaries are and my limits are. Like, so to really stay self-aware and respectful of my own heart, and like how intimate do I really want to be here while listening to the other person and being present for them as well. Whereas before I would sort of lose track of one or the other. Like I couldn't quite hold both. I think that meditation has helped me with that, and mindfulness, but also I think the courage to respect myself in addition to respecting the other person and risking being seen, and if it's not what the other person wants from me. So there's a dance there that I'm learning to do, and learning how to speak the truth with love. And sometimes it's been so hard to speak the truth that the love goes away. And so I'm also practicing that. Like, how do I speak the truth and maintain the love for that other person, and they feel held in care and respect, and all the different facets of love and what that means, and continue to bring that forth. For me, this is like a muscle. It takes so much awareness and so much sort of holding all three aspects of this in as many moments as possible. But I do trust that the more I practice, the more I will go back to that. Like, there's some teaching, like whatever we practice is what we return to when things are difficult, right? It becomes our baseline. And so I really do long for this to be my baseline. I thought that I had to create something on my own, right? Like, in order to be successful, I needed to like start my own ACL Global community or do something really big. My family, the people that I grew up with, did big things, created big movements and things like this. And I always felt like I needed to like make some big mark on the world. But I think that, I'm a quieter, more introverted person. I'm probably not going to create a community like this, but I can join it and I can be part of it and I can support it in whatever way I find, whatever avenues open up for me within the ACL Global Project. And I can attend other people's offerings, and I can offer and be part of the stream, so to speak, and also benefit from the practice of listening and authentically speaking. I think I can never get enough practice, and perhaps form friendships within the community of other people, like-minded people. I do plan on doing the ACL leadership training. I haven't seen any announcements about when that's happening, so I've been kind of looking. So I plan on doing that, and, would like to play some kind of role, but I don't feel like I have to take like the leader kind of role, but more like be one of the group that is spreading the word or helping ACL or these processes be more available to more people, and not have to be in therapy in order to be part of something like this and benefit from something like this. People need a place to feel like they belong, and also know how to create community and meaningful connection. It just makes all the difference. Another piece that really attracts me is how diverse it is and how people from all over the world get to be in these spaces together and to connect across these geographical and cultural, what appear to be separations. I do believe that each of us is so unique in what we have to offer the world. That might be neurodiversity, it might be cultural diversity, it might be gender diversity or sexual orientation or just how we're oriented in the world and what we care about and what our strengths are, like what we love and what we're passionate about. And that every single person is like a point of light, and that if we can really understand that and listen deeply and try to understand each being, our world is so much stronger when we can let people be unique. I think that the global aspect of ACL and creating these opportunities to really hear each other, it breaks down this false sense of separation, but also the idea that we need to be the same to be connected. I think we need that politically. I think we need that for a better world. And just as we're understanding how fungi are important to the base of forests and how the alder supports pine, we need to understand how we all play a role. So I think ACL is one of the ways that we can do this together. So I care about that, and I already know this is something that I love and am nourished by and want more of in my life. And this is really an opportunity to practice getting in deeper touch with what matters to us, and to practice deep listening, not only to ourselves, but to other people. There's something very sacred about creating the time and the space to have these deep connections with ourselves as well as with others. And you're not doing it just because you're lonely or don't have connections outside of this community. It's really also it's a practice space. And if people care about and are looking for ways to contribute to the world being more stable and there being more love in the world, it's almost like an antidote. It's really it can be the right medicine for what ails us in our society today.
That was Cristina Mullen, and this is the ACL Member Spotlight series, where every month we feature another one of our outstanding members of the Awareness, Courage, and Love Global Project. We hope you enjoyed this talk, and we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Doing so will not only keep you informed of when we feature our next Member Spotlight, but also help us towards our goal of becoming monetized so that we can continue developing and bringing you this type of programming.